Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending this task force meeting. As you're aware, the University Board has identified graduate employability as a top priority this year. We have been asked to submit a concrete proposal within 2 weeks. In our previous session, we reviewed 4 candidate solutions: ScaleBridge, ConnectUp, Scale Up AI, and a new elective course on professional skills. Today's objective is clear. We must critically evaluate these proposals, engage in thorough debate, and reach a well-justified consensus on our final recommendation. I would like to emphasize that we are not simply listing options. We are here to make a strategic decision that will impact thousands of students. Joining us today are Chief Analyst Lin and proposers Li, Jiang, and Zhu. Now, let's begin with our Chief Analyst, Lin, to provide an objective assessment of the reference case.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. After carefully reviewing the pitching video, I would like to share my assessment, which I have structured into the 3 parts: strengths, weaknesses, and underlying assumptions. On the strength side, I wholeheartedly concur that the group effectively identified the core problem, the widening gap between academic knowledge and workplace skills. Each speaker's proposed a relevant, well-intentioned solution. The overall structure was logical and easy to follow. However, I would like to draw your attention to the several critical weaknesses. First and foremost, the presentations were largely isolated and non-interactive. Each member presented their ideas independently, with no debate, no questioning, no engagement with alternative viewpoints. This is a presentation, not a professional meeting. Second, the justification provided were rather superficial. Statements like students will become more confident were made without supporting evidence or logical reasoning. Third, and for most significantly, the proposal operates under tacit assumption that universities bear sole responsibilities for bridging this gap. I seriously question whether this premise is valid. Shouldn't employers also invest in training new graduates? Shouldn't students themselves take greater initiative? I would like to invite your thoughts to this point. Li, what's your reaction to this critique?
I take your point, Lin, and I appreciate the thorough analysis. However, I respectfully disagree with the implication that this critical undermines the value of the proposed solution. Well, I agree that the presentation lack interactive. That is a valid observation. I would argue that the solution themselves remain viable. The issue is not the content but the format of delivery. To address your question directly, I don't believe the assumption is that the universities are solely responsible. Rather, the proposals position university as the most efficient and scalable starting point for intervention. After all, universities already have access to the student population. That being said, I do agree with one point. We should broaden our perspective to include employer partnership and student self-development. This is precisely why I believe an integrated platform that connects all 3 stakeholders is the most promising direction. May I elaborate on that?
Please do, Li, and I would invite others to prepare their responses as well.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What I'm proposing is a synthesis of SkillBridge and ConnectUp. Let's call it SkillBridge Connect for the purpose of our discussion. The compelling advantage of this approach is extensibility. Unlike a single course solution that ends after 1 semester, a digital platform can continually evolve. Students can access it throughout their university journey and even after graduation. Industry partners can contribute real-world projects. Alumni can serve as mentors. In my view, this creates a self-sustaining ecosystem rather than one of intervention. Consider this: a student in their second year could take a micro-learning model on communication skill. In their third year, they could participate in industry simulation project with peers. In the final year, they could receive AI-generated feedback on their reuse and interview performance, all on a single unified platform. The synergy here is undeniable. It combines skill training, practical experience, and career preparation in one place. What does everyone think about this integrated approach?
I agree in principle with the concept of integration, Lee. However, I would like to raise a concern. Your model seems to rely heavily on human mentors and peer collaboration. While these are valuable, they are also inherently limited. Mentors have limited time. Peer projects depend on group dynamics. What happens if a student doesn't find a good mentor? What happens if their group is unproductive? This is precisely where AI offers a unique advantage that your model overlooks. An AI system like Scale-Up AI provides 24/7 availability, consistent quality, and true personalization. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't have biases. It can identify a student's specific weaknesses. For example, in interview responses or written communication, and deliver targeted practice exercise immediately. Could I suggest that your platform should incorporate AI as a core component, not just an add-on?
I would tend to agree with you on that point, Jiang. In fact, I didn't mean to exclude AI entirely. The skill bridge proposal already includes an AI-powered career assistant. However, I question whether AI alone is sufficient. Let me put it this way. AI can tell a student that their interview answer lack clarity, but can AI provide the emotion support, the networking connection, and the real-world contextual advice that a human mentor can offer? I would connect that we need both. The technology and the human element are complementary, no competitive.
If I may just interrupt here, I find this discussion fascinating, but I believe we are missing the fundamental question. With respect, I should like to point out that both of you are proposing solutions that are arbitrary in nature. Students must choose to use these platforms, but if history tells us anything, voluntary adoption rates are notoriously low. Think about it. How many university provided resources to students actually use? Career centers, writing workshops, they are available, yet participation remains limited. This is why I am a proponent of a formal, credited elective course. A course ensure mandatory participation. If every student, not just the self-motivated ones, receives training in resume writing, interview skills, and workplace communication. Furthermore, a course provides structured, quality assured learning. The content is designed by experienced educators, and the feedback is provided by trained instructors. The outcomes are assessed and graded. I'm not suggesting we abandon technology, Jiang. Rather, I'm suggestion that a course provides the necessary framework within which technology can be most effectively developed. So why is your response to the voluntary adoption problem?
Well, this is a fair and important question, Zhu, and I respect the logic of your argument. However, I see the problem from a different angle altogether. The low adoption of existing resources is not just necessarily a reflection of students' unwillingness to learn. It may reflect the inconvenience and lack of personalization of those resources. Think about it. Students spend hours on social media, and they voluntarily engage with apps that provide immediate personalized feedback. The issue is not just voluntary versus mandatory. The issue is engaging versus unengaging. So AI-powered platforms can be designed to be highly engaging, gamified, adaptive, and responsive. Students will use them not just because they are forced to, but because they find them genuinely useful. Moreover, your course model has scalability limitations. One instructor cannot provide personalized feedback to hundreds of students, and a single mock interview takes 30 minutes. How many students can that serve? I would argue that AI offers a more scalable, sustainable solution, one that can adapt to each student's pace and learning style.
If I may offer my perspective here, I'm hearing two distinct but valid concerns. The mandatory engagement argument from Zhu and the scalability and personalization argument from Jiang. Would it be possible to combine these? For instance, what if the elective course served as the entry point, the structured foundation that ensures every student is exposed to these skills, and the AI platform served as a practice companion, the tool students use throughout the course and beyond? This way, I address both concerns. The course provides a framework and accountability, while the AI provides a personalized, scalable practice opportunities. I wonder if these hybrid approaches would be the solution we are looking for.
This is an excellent suggestion, Lin. I would like to hear Drew's reaction to this hybrid proposal.
Yeah, I am in total agreement with this direction. I think this hybrid model addresses my core concern, mandatory participation, while incorporating the strengths of the AI approach. And now let me propose a concrete implementation. The elective course employability and professional skills becomes a required or highly recommended course for all students within the course. An AI platform just like Skill Up AI is integrated as the primary practice tool for interview simulation, resume feedback, and communication exercises. Mentorship components from Connect Up can be embedded through guest speakers, anime panels, and industry project collaborations. And this is, in my view, a comprehensive and practical solution.
I agree to a point, Drew. I'm satisfied that AI is being given a central role in the hybrid model. However, I would like to ensure that the AI component is not just merely a supplementary tool, but a core pedagogical element. The technology must be adequately funded, properly integrated, and continuously updated. If we can commit to that, I have no objection to the hybrid approach.
I'm exactly the same opinion, the hypermodal captured the best of the world. The structure of a course, the personalization of AI, and the connectivity of a mentorship network. I would like to add one more suggestion. The platform should be accessible even after the course ends. Students who graduate should be able to continue using the network and practice too as they enter the workforce. This would create least in value beyond graduation.
Thank you all for such a productive and thoughtful discussion. Let me summarize what I have heard so far to ensure we're aligned. One, there is general agreement that the original proposals, while valuable, needed more integration and critical evaluation. Two, the group acknowledges three key dimensions that must be addressed. Mandatory participation, which ensuring all students benefit, personalization, which adapting to individual learning needs, and the scalability, which serving thousands of students efficiently. Three, a hybrid model has emerged as the preferred direction, combining an elective course framework with AI-powered practice tools and mentorship connections. Would anyone like to add any final thoughts before I propose a formal decision?
Well, I would simply add the hybrid model is well justified because it addresses the limitations of each standalone solution while leveraging their respective strengths. This is precisely the kind of integrated thinking that the task force was established to produce.
Agreed. And I appreciate that the group has been willing to compromise. This is a stronger recommendation than any single proposal.
Yeah, and I concur. The hybrid approach is not only practical, but also forward-looking.
I'm in full support. This solution reflects the best thinking of this task force.
Excellent. We have now reached a clear consensus and can formally present our final recommendation. Rather than selecting a single solution, we propose a hybrid approach that combines the strengths of all previous ideas. The foundation of this proposal is a formal elective course, employability and proposal skills, which would be available to all students and strongly encouraged as part of their academic pathway. To provide practical and personalized learning opportunities, the course would be supported by an AI-powered platform similar to Scale Up AI, offering interview simulations, resume feedback, and communication skills training tailored to individual student needs. In addition, a mentorship and the network component inspired by Connect Up would connect students with alumni, industrial professionals, and potential employers, helping them build valuable professional relationships and gain real-world insights. This integrated solution is recommended for several reasons. First, it is comprehensive, addressing the full spectrum of employability developments by combining knowledge acquisition through coursework, practical skill development through AI-assisted training, and professional networks through mentorship opportunities. Second, it is inclusive, ensuring that all students have access to essential career preparation resources. Third, the use of AI technology makes the solution highly scalable, allowing personalized support to be delivered efficiently to large student population. Furthermore, the platform can continue to support graduates beyond their university years, making the initiative sustainable in the long term. Finally, the proposal promotes shared responsibility among universities, employers, alumni, and students, creating a collaborative ecosystem for career development. This recommendation represents a significant refinement of the original proposals. Instead of 4 separate initiatives, we have developed a synergistic and well-integrated solution that maximized the strengths of each approach. As the next step, a final report outlining this recommendation will be prepared for submission to the University Board. Lin will prepare a summary of the comparative analysis. All members will review the draft before final submission. Thank you all for contributions. The meeting is adjourned.